What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to look at 3 exercises for the tibialis posterior muscle. Tibialis posterior is a muscle that's on our lower leg. So it runs here on the medial lower leg. If you find your shin bone, it's right to the inside. So people often have pain along this line. Tibialis posterior runs right here, and then it goes behind this bone, the medial malleolus, and then hooks down on our foot. So one of its functions is to help control and support our medial arch right here. And then tibialis posterior also is involved in plantarflexing our foot, pointing our foot, and inverting it, turning it in. So if you've got shin splints in this region, posterior shin splints, or you have arch-related pain, stay tuned for today's exercises. They can help with both of those issues. So for these 3 exercises, they're going to progress from lower load to higher load, sort of the demand on the tibialis posterior muscle. The first one is more of an activation exercise that sort of helps improve that mind to muscle connection. So this exercise is called doming. So if you look down here at my foot and specifically my arch, because we know that tibialis posterior is involved in supporting that medial arch, we're basically going to work on trying to use that muscle to lift the arch. So for this doming exercise, we're basically going to try and create a dome in the arch. You can see I already kind of have that dome in my arch. You might have a lower arch or a higher arch. So just go from where your starting point is. What you're going to do is think about lifting your arch. You're kind of squeezing tibialis posterior and doming that arch and lifting it. You want to keep the ball of your big toe, your heel, and the bone underneath your pinky toe all on the ground, kind of a tripod with the foot, and then you're going to lift. So it's sort of almost like you're doing a crunch for your foot. So not only will this work tibialis posterior, but it also strengthen the deep intrinsic muscles in the arch of the foot. You can kind of see how things squeeze here as I lift. So this can be pretty tricky in the beginning. It frustrates people because they can't quite figure out how to do it right away, but just give it time. It takes a little while for your nervous system to learn how to squeeze these muscles and lift the arch. But this first one's really important, important in terms of learning to activate the intrinsics of the foot and tibialis posterior. So that's our first exercise, arch doming. For our second exercise, we are going to target the other movements of tibialis posterior. So we're going to combine plantarflexion, or pointing your foot, and inversion, which is turning the foot in. So you're going to take a piece of TheraBand and tie a loop in it. If you don't have TheraBand, I'll put a link in the description where you can get some on Amazon. So you tie a loop in it, you're going to put it up around the front of your foot, and then you're going to pull the band out at kind of an angle like this. So what I'm going to do, because of this angle of the band, I've got to point my foot and turn it in. So I've got this combination of plantarflexion and inversion. So I'm going to do repetitions like that, somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 sets of, you could go up as high as 15 to 20 repetitions. This red band is probably a little too easy for me, so you want to pick a band that provides the appropriate resistance. But you're basically pointing your foot and turning it in, and on the way back, don't let it snap. The band's going to want to try and snap you back. Really try to control that. Again, we're working on strengthening tibialis posterior and teaching our nervous system how to recruit that muscle. Also, make sure you don't rotate the rest of your leg. It's not a hip movement, it's just an ankle movement. So try to keep your kneecap pointed up to the ceiling, your shin in this orientation, and just move the ankle. So there's definitely a big kind of motor control, neuromuscular control aspect to an exercise like this, kind of like the doming. Okay, so that's our second exercise, ankle, plantarflexion, and inversion. For our last exercise, we're going to need a ball. So you can use a tennis ball, just something like this, a lacrosse ball, something about this size. Tibialis posterior runs in our posterior compartment of our leg with our calf muscles. So again, remember, it plantarflexes and points the foot. It works with our calf muscles. So this exercise is going to work tibialis posterior, that plantarflexion aspect. It's also going to work our calf muscles. So what you're going to do with the ball is bring it down. You're going to hold onto a wall for balance, and then put the ball in between your heels. And then basically what you're going to do is kind of squeeze on the ball a little bit so it doesn't fall, and then do calf raises. Think about coming up over your big toes. You do these calf raises and then keeping that ball in its position. And for this, you want to go for 3 sets and a few more repetitions. Think about getting up to 20 or 25 repetitions. And once this becomes easy, if you can do 3 sets of 20 reps and this is no big deal, it doesn't hurt much, it doesn't feel like it's that challenging, well then just get rid of the ball and just go to doing single leg calf raises. Single leg calf raises, obviously you think about the name, they're thought of as primarily a calf exercise. But again, tibialis posterior helps with plantarflexion, so calf raises, just standard calf raises, are really going to help strengthen tibialis posterior and its tendon as well. Okay, you guys, so those are our 3 exercises for tibialis posterior. We've got a doming exercise, one with a band where we're going into plantarflexion inversion, and then lastly, these calf raise variations. Give them a try, and as always, let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I will get back to you. All right, see you next time. Bye.